welcome to another edition of the Sports War. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port here on a Monday. Barnes and Michael once again.
What up, everyone?
Fresh off the Hall of Fame inductions. What's going on, brother?
Nothing, dude. Yeah, it was dope. Good time. Like I said in the chat, won some money. So you can never be too upset with that, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, that is the priority. Just like with the football games yesterday, great football back. The Yankee win series over the Blue Jays. We know that's the priority. So even though in the basement yesterday, we had I think four different TVs and the projector set up. I had the Yankee game just streaming on my phone, but it was that was definitely the priority. But like I said, it's good to have football back, but just pumped for the Yankees right now. The run they've been on, I've been waiting for this. Me and Ernie riled all the naysayers, all of that. So yeah, a lot to get into. But I do see. We do have a bunch of comments already. The faithful in numbers this morning. If we want to start with that.
Yeah, definitely. We have Hot Take Johnny's boy. Hey, Kev Do. You look just like Lorax. What happened to the Mets sweeping the Reds this weekend? And your teams haven't won shit since the days where iPhones weren't a thing.
No, it's really funny, and I know you can tell this, Michael, but he has morphed into Matthew Ryan. Like, no excitement for the Yankees, just all like the sledgehammer down Kev Do about the Mets.
Yes,
like it's pretty funny. But I keep telling him, Michael, the Yankees. Not so much the Mets, but
he's not gonna listen.
No, he's not.
And you'd be perfect fit for a stock boy at Trader Joe's. Just saying.
Oh my God. Oh, and it was another funny one. So you know how he does his 8 million group chats?
Yeah.
So he put me in one with Jimmy, and then Jimmy the other day heard me say this. I forgot how it came up. I think I was just telling Tony that I'm in all these group chats with them or whatever. And I was saying dude, Jimmy, big Yankee fan, he's my boy or whatever. He's like, oh, dude, I heard that sound back. And I was like, dude, listen, Yankee fans got to stick together. Strength in numbers, Michael. Strength in numbers.
Yes, 100%. Josh said, what up, fam? Sheesh, Bukta. Ernie, what up, Ernie? Saying you're. Josh saying Yerny. Michael saying, what a week one yesterday we witnessed. Capping off the rat birds choking.
Wait, I'm actually.
Who are the Ratbirds?
He's talking about the Ravens choking against the Bills.
And then Michael says, Michael, yeah, reading those comments, my day is made. Derpy, well, New York fans, might as well. He says, my swell, look forward to the Knicks, the Giants, and the Jets still suck. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's, SOP, but who's standing alone? Your New York
Yankees. Josh B saying, Michael. Hi, Mrs. Materio. Herc saying, hi, fellas. And then Michael Buck. The HTJ gets me confused.
Yeah. Michael, he listens to me typically. Michael, why don't you just change it back to Michael Buck?
Yeah, it's so much easier to read.
No confusion. And come on, Hot Take Johnny's a big Mets fan. That's gonna be your name?
Yeah.
HTJ's boy? Come on.
Yeah, Michael, in case you haven't heard, HTJ is my boy. I've heard. Michael, man. You need to be read in those comments over Tony. You read them with pride and joy.
need to be read in those?
He's saying you need to be reading them, I think. Derpy saying Toronto will beat the Yankees. I mean, that's not happening.
Toronto will beat the Yankees. Well, didn't the Yankees just win 2 out of 3 or no? Or no, didn't the Mets just lose to? Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, you're right. But we're caught up now.
Oh, you gotta love the haters, Michael. You gotta love the haters.
Gotta.
Any highlights with the Hall of Fame over the weekend, other than the tables, the Spanish, you know?
It was dope, dude. Seeing like Darren Williams, Sue Bird, Dwayne Wade, Tayshaun Prince, Carmelo, obviously.
Because
Dwight
those
Howard.
guys were there from the 08 Olympic team, right? Before Dwight, because he got inducted, right? That's why they were there? Okay.
Yes, exactly.
And LeBron was there or no?
LeBron didn't come to Mohegan. He went to Springfield.
Okay, gotcha.
But you know, it was dope seeing Dwayne Wade, Keon Dooling. Who else was there? Sue Bird, I said. Sue Bird's like wife or whatever was there. Maya Moore. Mike D'Antoni. Florida coach, what's his name?
Billy Donovan?
Billy Donovan. Rick Pitino was there.
Richard.
Yeah,
wait,
dude.
What's the tie-in there?
Donovan was Pitino's player.
Oh, wait, so Donovan got elected?
Got into the Hall of Fame, yeah.
As a coach?
I think so. I don't know what, but yeah.
But they college and NBA are combined in this Hall of Fame, right?
Yes. Maya Moore only has, if you're like counting WNBA rings, she only has 4. So let's relax.
Yeah,
people are like
12.
People are trying to like compare.
But Olympics and UConn,
NCAA.
Right?
It's like all right, but like she didn't win 12, even though I do like her in her career. But because they're trying to just compare to say she's the Michael Jordan of WNBA. But who else was there? Mike D'Antoni.
Boeheim or no?
USA.
Oh, okay, right.
Also, who's the guy that put together the USA team?
Colangelo?
Yeah, he was there.
Okay.
Gosh. I'm just trying. There's so many people, honestly. Oh, dude, like Dr. J.
That's crazy.
Robert Parrish.
Yeah.
Why am I blanking on his name? He was on the Hawks against Bird. He
Wilkins?
Yes.
Wow.
He looks great.
Yeah. Because he was the dunk contest judge for a while.
Yeah, no, he looks good. Like there's some players that like, oh, dude, Carlos Boozer was there, definitely gaining some weight.
Dude, me and Alan saw him at the Yankees last year. With Matt, actually. He was sitting in the legend seats, but he was walking by our seats to get down there.
I didn't know he was...
Carlos Boozer, yo! What up, man?
That's so funny, dude. Who else? There was just a lot of players, a lot of stars. And it was cool, dude. It was cool. You know, you think that like the only person that like is actually their height is Dwight Howard.
6'11", right?
He might even be 7 feet.
I don't know why, but I think that's what he was listed at.
Yeah, but
right?
he like because everybody else, like, dude, Dwayne Wade, there's no way he's 6'4".
Yeah, like 6'2". I just don't get, like, that's just all for like recruiting and stuff that they do that.
I don't know.
But it's like a team could just give you a physical and know. So
yeah.
Like what? Like for the opposing team, well, what does it matter? You're 6'2", 6'2".
Yeah. Like Keon Dooling, he's listed at 6'3". Dude, he's like maybe 6 feet.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Darren Williams, same thing. Like it was just funny to see that. I'm like, but Dwight is definitely, you know, he could, dude, it's weird, like, cause those players, like they look so young still.
Yeah.
And look like they could still play.
Yeah, like Dwight looks like he can still play. Definitely.
Yeah.
And Carmelo.
Yeah,
really.
definitely.
Yeah. And I feel like, too, both of them in the specialty role, like Dwight just like 10 minutes off the bench, like defense, and then Carmelo just hitting threes, like staying in the corner.
Yeah. So, you know.
Did you get to talk to any of them?
I talked to, like, because I forgot who, like, it was either Parrish or someone almost fell.
Really?
When not just like they were coming out the back.
Hammered.
Probably, honestly. And he was like, and I was like, whoa. And like I put my arm up, and like he was like, almost went down there, and I was like,
Oh,
and I
God,
put,
that's
you know,
funny.
tapped him on the back.
Yeah.
But everybody was like late, you know, like
Yeah.
dude, the show's starting, it's airing live, people are talking with each other, and you know, I don't know, it was just crazy.
And then what was the deal? Because I was asking this before we started with the whole, like you said, some stuff's at Springfield. So like, but wasn't the mellow speech, wasn't that at Mohegan or no?
So it was at Springfield, but all the rehearsals were at Mohegan.
Oh, I got you.
So I got to hear.
Got you.
It was just like me and Mello. It was insane.
That's crazy.
But it was dope, dude. It was a good time. I don't know. It was sick.
That's awesome. Man.
Quick. It was quick too. It was nice, and it was like only an hour and a half. No speed. Like everybody's like,
just go.
They got their time. You know, it's not like letting people go long.
Yeah.
Sue Bird also looks like she could still play.
Yeah.
She looks great.
Yeah. Because I'm trying to think. She must have retired like what? Like, oh, well, I guess what? It's like 6 or 7 years for the eligibility, I would think.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe
like
around
that.
5.
Yeah.
Probably.
But yeah, man. I mean,
it was dope. It was dope, especially that class, like Mello, and to see Dwayne Wade and Dwight and all those guys. It was sick to see them. Those are the guys I grew up watching. So
yeah,
sick.
And then the tables, Spanish, right?
Spanish 21. If anyone's out there and they want to win some money,
Ernie,
Spanish 21. Whenever you go to the casino, so much better than blackjack. Way more, dude. You can. Let's say I had like the 4 aces I had.
Oh, right. I was thinking about when you said that. Yeah, they'll let you keep splitting, but it's not just automatically. You can't hit. Like,
no. And dude, guess what?
Yeah.
I split, got the ace.
And they got the ace again.
Guess what? Double down.
Because at blackjack, that would have been just 12-12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, and you could double down on that as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you could, it's just like so much better. Like,
yeah.
Don't get me wrong. When you have people that don't know how to play.
Yeah.
And the dealer also is hitting, you're going to be losing money quick. But the opposite can happen too, which is like, you know, you're going to win, you know, decent money.
Well, yeah. And I think it's all just too, like, you kind of read the table. Like, obviously, listen, I mean, it's like, it's never going to just be a straight line up. There's going to be bad times. But sometimes you could tell where it's just like, so sorry every time. Then it's like, okay, maybe you want to like, I'll be right back. I'll go to the bathroom type of thing. But yeah, no, it's been a while since I've tried Spanish, so probably give it a try next time. But
let me know.
Yeah, that's awesome though. Yeah, we'll definitely. Yeah, that would be sick. Run a table, meet you and Tony.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot more comments here. Some stuff I want to get to. You know, the usual Yankee Mets nonsense. So let's get there.
We have the great. We read the 12 rings comment. Great Ardini. Packers beat Detroit. Lamar ain't him. Yankees win both series and looking to take the division. LFG, I am the goddamn Swami. You hear me? Fucking clairvoyant.
I mean, Ernie just nailing it. Yankees right in position. And also, if you see back up, he's asking for some apologies too. I don't know if you saw that one. He said,
hey, can me and Barnes get some apologies this morning? LMAO. Also, when will I stop being questioned?
Yeah, no, because me and Ernie way ahead of it. You know, everybody's selling the Yankees down the river. And we were just like, listen, they got these games, they can win them. Like the season's long, like you have different stretches. What do you know? Here we are. So yeah, me and Ernie were getting a kick out of that in the group chat this morning over the weekend. And I also see Derby saying, can't wait for another Yankee playoff choke and making million excuses to hate Aaron Boone. And this is what it is with Derby. He's your, even though I don't even know who he is, but you know, your typical Mets fan. And I've had this conversation many times with a lot of people in like the TCA and stuff, with Kev Dew and Hot Take Johnny Michael Butka, where it's, as a Met fan, they're just so anxious for the Yankee downfall, the Mets being looked at higher, but it's just not there. It's not happening anytime soon. And I just think they have a hard time accepting it. And, you know, I know the Yankees have been around for a while. History has shown, you know, we always bounce back. And here we are once again. We're in a position where we have a chance. have a chance to return to the promised land, accomplish what we couldn't last year. And let's take advantage of it. One game at a time. Nice to get an off day today. But the hate for the Yankees, the jealousy, to me, it's just embarrassing. And it's why like Tony gets so annoyed with Matthew Ryan. It's just like, focus on your team. I could never be more excited for the downfall of another team than just being happy for the success of my own team. And why do you do that? Because your team doesn't have enough success. And what do you know? Kind of lines up with the Mets fans. So just wanted to put that out there. And what do you think about Michael Butka, who changed his name back to Butka? Says, Michael, take me to the casino.
We'd have to have some rules. Definitely some rules.
The weather, the travel. And he also says, hey, Hall of Fame is fucking sick. Derpy boy, you a Met fan? Of course, Michael. And he says, I truly don't want my YouTube username to be a Mets fan, so I changed it back. There you go. And he says, Mets losing 3-4 in Philly Derby. But here's the sign of growth. I guess we could call it another homework assignment for you, Michael. We want to see you more pumped up for the Yankees. Leave the Mets. The Mets will Met, like Josh Priest says with the Jets, the Mets will Met until they Met no more. They're going to, the downfall, that will be taken care of itself, Michael. You don't need to focus on that. It's time for the Yankee run, and I know you know that deep down. So I want to see a little more enthusiasm. I know you see Jimmy getting riled in the group chat as well, so come on. So we definitely are going to get to the baseball, but obviously I know week one, everybody, wants to talk about football. So let's go to the world of the National Football League.
This kid is special, man. This you didn't even think to do that.
Gonna run for it, he got it, and there he goes. Oh, the play of the year in the NFL. Throws intercepted by Surtain. Nobody's gonna catch him. Jones to the end zone, touchdown. Quincy Williams leveling Murray. There he goes. Jamar Chase. Not yet. Touchdown, Bengals. Stafford, Williams. What a hit by Budda Baker. Budda Baker just saved a touchdown.
So today's show is brought to you by Velvet Llama, premium canned cocktails crafted by NYC bartenders with a playful spirit. Enjoy their award-winning espresso martini with Italian espresso and chocolate notes, the crisp Moscow Mule with Nigerian ginger, or the spicy margarita with organic agave and jalapeno. These ready-to-drink treats are made with the finest ingredients. Grab yours at velvetllama.com and ride the smooth wave with Velvet Llama. It's kind of a shame already. Michael Butka doesn't seem like he's following instruction, saying, but Barnes, I love talking shit about the Mets. It's fun. But, we can get him to change his name, but then when it comes to the instruction, he can't help it. Could you ever resonate like that? Because obviously there's, me with the Mets, of course, me with the Patriots, but the Astros, the Red Sox.
I'd rather just win.
Right, exactly. Yes, that stuff, sure. You want to
sometimes, obviously you're going to stick up for yourself.
Yes,
yeah.
But at the same time, it's impossible. Nothing is better than when your own team wins, and I think Michael Butka needs to understand that.
Yes.
What did he say?
Let's go. We want the smoke. How about those Raiders? Then Buck is saying, there comes Kev Dew from his hibernation in Queens. I think the name change is mostly important, Barnes.
It's progress, Michael. I guess we can give you that. So obviously a lot of games yesterday. We'll kind of run down the list, and obviously just local feel here. We'll start with that Jets-Steelers game. And I know, a lot of fellow Jets fans out there taking this one kind of, the knife in the chest, I guess you could say, because the Jets, did a lot of good things yesterday. First of all,
they did.
How about this? Since we were born, first time, so it was 1991, first time that they did not punt in the first half. And, you think about the Jets, notorious for having one of the worst offenses in the league. So to have the offense flowing that well, where, you're not punting the entire first half just shows how well they were playing. And, my concern going into this game or going into this season was yes, we know Justin Fields could run. And what do you know? He had 2 rushing touchdowns yesterday. 48 yards on 12 carries. And the team, they ran for 182 yards, and also Braylon Allen added a rushing touchdown. But through the air, Fields did what he needed to. 16 to 22, 218, a touchdown, didn't turn the ball over, and a 79.5, a quarterback rating. Keep in mind, 50 is average. So for Justin Fields, who, we've all labeled a bust, I thought that was a great performance out of him. Garrett Wilson, too, a lot of talk about their chemistry from their college days at Ohio State coming into this. 7 for 95 and a score. But the story here, and sure, that fourth down, I think it was a 4th and 3 at the end of the game. Garrett Wilson getting lit up by Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
It seemed like Fields had the outside if he took it, but obviously, time winding down, wanted to get more yards. Kind of one of those unfortunate circumstances. But I don't really think it even, technically, sure, yes, it did come down to that. You could have had a chance for Folk to win it. But I think it came down to defensively. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, was really able to carve up the secondary. 22 of 30, 244, 4 touchdowns, no picks, 4 sacks for 26 yards, but only a 62.7 quarterback rating. So actually Fields outperforming him. But it seemed like, we had a comfort level there, with DK Metcalf, who had 4 for 83, including that ridiculous catch. But that was really the difference in the game in my mind, because the Jets, I mean, if your defense, is just average, which we feel this should be a top unit, and while it hasn't been the last couple of years, that's kind of been the feeling. If your offense is going to score 32 and your defense is going to do just a decent job, you're going to win most games. So I think, that's something to be excited about. It seems like Aaron Glenn, has a grasp on this locker room. So I think it's all good signs. It's just, unfortunately after this game, and sure, you'll still be at home, but it really doesn't get any easier because you're home to the Bills next week, who obviously won a legendary shootout with the Ravens last night. But then you're at Tampa, at the Dolphins, Monday Night Football. Okay, Dolphins don't look great, but still, you've been 500 or worse against them in recent memory. Cowboys, Broncos, and then you get a game with the Panthers. So not really an easy schedule. So I think, though, I mean, listen, sure, we all have dreams, and especially when Rodgers is here, we're thinking Super Bowl. I mean, I'm not anticipating to win, to make the playoffs at all. So I think that the key here is just to kind of solidify, your future pieces, and whatever the record is. And of course, we want to see that throughout this season, whether the Jets win 2 games, 4 games, 7 games, 10 games, that there's no quit on this team. And I really do think with Aaron Glenn, that's not going to be a problem. So I think we are moving in the right direction. And obviously, we have to see more of it. But at least for now, we could say it looks like we might have possibly found a diamond in the rough in Fields, right? I mean, I love what he does running the ball, and I think passing, he was good enough against the Steelers defense that's supposed to be one of the best in the NFL.
100% agree. And, I am happy as that's why I wore this green shirt, Jets colors for today. I was happy with what I saw. Did I want us to win? Sure. But I kind of had a feeling that Rodgers was going to have a big game. And,
right.
Usually it takes like a year and some change to get back from an Achilles fully.
And he looked good down the stretch.
He
4
did.
touchdown passes. First quarterback in NFL history, by the way, because he threw 4 in the season finale against the Dolphins. And then the next week, or obviously next year, first game, throw another 4 for a different team. Only time that's ever happened. So obviously, Rodgers were pumped. And then it was just funny, the complete flip-flop going into the game. Just week 1, not a big deal. Be different if going back to Green Bay. Just another opponent. And after the game, was happy to beat every single facet of anything to do with the Jets.
Yeah, no, that was funny. It was dope though. It was good to see. He's whatever, but it was nice to see him be sort of like a nice guy because when he was with the Jets, he would play catch with the ball boy. And he did it again.
Oh yeah. So all good, and it's really, I mean, I don't know why he has so much animosity. I saw like this laundry list. I think Carlin tweeted it out. Just, all the money the Jets gave him and how they kind of let him do whatever he wanted. And sure, I guess it's like, we do understand like the whole fly him across the
yeah, that was crazy.
You won't do McAfee, right? Oh, okay. Yeah, we still don't care actually.
Yeah.
Woody must have been tight, clearly. But yeah, and then obviously, they had that 2-point conversion early in the game they didn't get after the missed PAT. So sure, there were some opportunities there, but like I said, I don't know. To me, it's like, and I know, yes, things could go right, and you could make the playoffs hypothetically, but I mean, to me, that just seems too ridiculous. So it's like I said, I don't think it, being that it's not a season that you're expecting to make the playoffs, for me anyway, it just doesn't really sink too bad, and I think there's more positive than the negatives. Sure, you'd like to see some wins, and be interesting to see how they play against Buffalo. That's going to be key. But you think about it, I mean, in recent years, they've definitely won a couple of games against the Bills. So be interested to see if they can compete there. We saw a classic, between the Bucs and the Falcons. The Bucs winning 23-20. Koo, I think it was a 43-yarder, missing it at the end. But we definitely saw some good football here. Despite the loss out of Atlanta, because Michael Penix, who took over down the stretch last year, the number 1 pick last year, 27-42, 298, a touchdown. Bijan Robinson had a big game receiving, 6 for 100 and a touchdown. Didn't get much going on the ground against Vita Vea and this Tampa front, only 24 yards. But it was an exciting back and forth game. And I think Baker, while the stat line wasn't pretty, 17-32, did have three touchdowns, no picks, only sacked once, just only threw for 167 yards. But he actually scrambled for almost 40. Bucky Irving couldn't get anything going on the ground, but he did have good rapport with Emeka Egbuka. 4 for 67, 2 touchdowns, the first-round pick out of Ohio State, obviously won the national championship last year there. And then Mike Evans with a steady 5 for 51. So these divisional games, they're always close. But I think, listen, it's week 1. You're just happy to get a win. And I think, 2 things can be true here. I think that the Bucs are going to be one of the better teams in the NFC this year. And then the Falcons, I think, are definitely going to take a step forward, and they've done a good thing, surrounding their offense with young, talented players, with Penix, with Robinson, with London, who did have, I think it's a knee injury, but it seems like it's more of a sprain, so it'll be interesting to see if he misses any time. And then it did seem like Penix had some good rapport with Kyle Pitts, who's been disappointing as a former first-round pick out of Florida, the tight end. So we'll have to see what happens there. The Bengals, who I think their last 12 games that were played in the first 3 weeks of the season were 1-11, sneaked by the Browns on the road, 17-16. I think Burrow was 1-3 in Cleveland going into this game for his career. And how about this? He only throws for 113 yards, did have a touchdown pass to Noah Fant, but it was just a defensive showdown, which you don't expect to see, especially with Cincinnati and Joe Flacco dropping back 45 times for the Browns, but had 2 picks, and did also, though, have a touchdown pass to Cedric Tillman. Both teams not able to run the ball here. 46 yards for Cincinnati and 49 yards for the Browns. But I think the key is, listen, I think a lot of people kind of going after, Joe Burrow, on social media, all this different stuff, just saying, what terrible performance, this and that. But at the end of the day, the Bengals, find themselves out of the playoffs last year. And like I said, these slow starts the other years, having to rally. So just to get a win, again, a divisional opponent, you take it and move on. And I think, next week we'll see their stars balling out like they always do. So just good for them to get a win. And one of the surprises of the day, how about the Indianapolis Colts? And, a little emotional there. First game played since their longtime owner, Jim Irsay, passed away. But Daniel Jones, 22 of 29, 272, a touchdown through the air, and also had 26 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. This is a guy, listen, I thought, it was kind of like your delusional Giants fans, they're just going into this year. We have a chance to beat the Commanders. And obviously we saw it happen last year. But with Jones, it was always, the pieces around him, the line. And, you just look at him play, and it just didn't feel, like he had it. But what do you know? He had a great game. And sure, Miami, I think that team's in trouble. I think Mike McDaniel might be a dead man walking. Could be possibly the first coach fired. Tyreek Hill, obviously problems with the organization. We saw him barking on the sidelines yesterday. So I don't know how good Miami's going to be. But obviously Indy big year for Shane Steichen. He's a coach that could get fired, if he doesn't have success. So I thought this was impressive for them. Jonathan Taylor, they went to early in the game, kind of gave some carries to the rookie DJ Giddens afterwards, probably to just give him a break. But he had 71 yards on the ground. And then it was nice to see Michael Pittman, who I think had some injuries last year, so people were kind of down and fantasy-wise. I picked him up late, and he actually had a good game, 6 for 80 and a score. And the rookie tight end Tyler Warren from Penn State, 7 for 76. So I think a lot to be happy about if you're an Indianapolis Colts fan. The Dolphins, I mean, obviously it was a train wreck game. I mean, there's no other way to say it. Tua only threw for 114 yards, 2 picks, did have a touchdown pass that he threw to Devon Achane. I mean, this game was so out of hand that Zach Wilson actually got in and was 5 for 8 for 32 yards, so it doesn't look like much has changed there. But going to be interesting to see with Miami. Like I said, I think the coach will come into question, at some point, and then, Tyreek Hill, do they trade him? Who knows? But, just kind of looking ahead here for Miami. We mentioned that Jets game in a couple weeks, but they do. Before that, are home to the Patriots next week, which seems like a game you could win. We saw them fall to the Raiders yesterday, and then you're at the Bills. So obviously, you could be staring at a 0-3, a 1-2 before you get to that Jets game. So be interesting to see how they react. And then on the other side of things, I'm really intrigued to see, if Daniel Jones can keep this up. Like I said, the Dolphins, not the best opponent, not the best defense. But next week, home, but playing the Broncos. Obviously, their defense touted as possibly the best in the NFL. So it'll be a very big test there to see what Daniel Jones can do. So kudos to the Colts. That's a nice win. We mentioned the Raiders, 20-13 in Foxborough yesterday. Geno Smith making his Raider debut, 24-34, 362 yards and a touchdown. Pete Carroll in this one becoming the oldest head coach in NFL history, approaching 74 years old. You wouldn't know it by looking at him on the sideline. Geno did have 1 pick, but overall I thought it was a pretty good game, sacked 4 times. Austin Gentry bottled up, did have his first career touchdown though, 19-38. And then you saw Brock Bowers, 5 for 103, building on that impressive rookie season. I think he set the rookie receiving record last year. He did leave this game with a knee issue, but supposedly he downplayed it. So I'm sure for Kev and his fellow Raider fans, hoping that is the case. And then you look on the other side of things here. The Patriots struggled running the ball, 3.3 yards a carry, only 60 yards. You saw their rookie running back, Trayvon Henderson from Penn State, 5 for 27. I would expect as the season goes on, he'll get some more looks. Drake May played okay, 30 of 46, a lot of incompletions, and did have an interception, a quarterback rating of only 39.3. So they're a team. It'll be interesting to see how they play. Good debut for Carroll. Just looking at this. So next week they're going to play the Chargers. So that's, a divisional opponent, tough defense again. Be interested to see how they perform. And then when you look at the other side of the field here, the Patriots will be at the Dolphins. So, that's an important game for both teams, obviously not wanting to fall, to 0-2. But I've been kind of saying, I think the Patriots have done a better job bringing talent in. I don't think it's like this year they're ready to compete. But and I've also thought, I don't know, Mike Vrabel, is he a little overrated? Does he think a little too highly of himself? So we'll see. I mean, the Dolphins are a mess. So, am I really going to be surprised if the Patriots win? Not really. Moving along, though, we saw the Cardinals, probably one of the most popular money line selections, survivor pool picks, outlasting the Saints here, 20-13. I think a lot of people thought this is a game that could get, well out of hand. And you look at Kyler Murray, 21-29, only 163 yards passing, did have 2 touchdowns, ran for 38 yards. As a team, they ran for 146. They featured second-year running back Trey Benson, 8 for 69 on the ground, and then Marvin Harrison Jr., a lot of talk the offseason, them working on their chemistry, 5 for 71 in the score. I took him, I think, just for one of my fantasy teams, but, expecting a huge season out of him, obviously the pedigree, his father, the Hall of Famer, all of that. Trey McBride too, so be interested to see. He had 6 for 61, but just the Cardinals, they've been kind of Not really a contender the last couple of years. Can they get back to the playoffs? I think it obviously all falls on the shoulders of Kyler Murray, what he can do with this offense. And for the Saints, I mean, I guess relative, I know it's a home game, but, they didn't completely embarrass themselves. Spencer Rattler, though, had 19 incompletions, but didn't turn it over. So, it'll be interesting to see, if that was kind of an opening week thing or that they'll actually be more competitive than we think. Because a lot of times that does happen when you have these teams that you think are the worst in the league. And speaking of competing, I don't think you could say the Giants yesterday competed against the Commanders as they fall 21-16. And I was having a good back and forth. Hot Take Johnny still in the TCA chat right now, getting mad at me, but I swear, not making it up. He did say before the game that the Giants were the better team than the Commanders. Obviously, not the case. And my thing, and I've said this many times, and sure, yes, being a Jets fan, I don't know, sometimes with the Giants, even though they haven't won in a while, just like with the fans, like Mark is always big with this too. Like, oh, it's a new year, the Giants, I'm going to do a Super Bowl bet. It's like, listen, man, like Eli Manning is gone. Brian Dable, is he really the future of this organization, a head coach? And then bring in Russell Wilson, who had 20 incompletions yesterday, a 25.6 quarterback rating. You traded up in the first round to get Jackson Dart. I understand, you don't want to, rush him into the fire here. But to me, it just seems like a waste of time playing Russell Wilson. I just think, there's just no point to it. Like, the future building blocks you have on this team. Russell Wilson's not part of it. Let him hold the clipboard and let Dart learn on the fly. And if he takes some lumps, he takes some lumps. But I just think even he could have competed better against the Commanders yesterday. And it's interesting. Dable, after the game, non-committal on the starter next week, but also said that it wasn't Russell Wilson's fault. So be kind of crazy if they go to him already. The Commanders, it wasn't like I guess they did run the ball a lot. Not as much of an aerial attack, but Daniels, 19-30, efficient, 233 and a touchdown, sacked 3 times. Also ran for 68 yards on the ground, but running in general, they really spread out the wealth here. They ran for 220, 2 touchdowns, 6.9 yards per carry. And then Deebo Samuel, a lot of talk, he's kind of bigger now. Does he have the speed? I thought he looked pretty good. He took 1 carry for a touchdown, 19 yards, and also had 7 receptions for 77 yards. As also Jaden Daniels found, 7 different receivers. So pretty good stuff there. The Giants, a lot of talk about how they could get off to a tough start, at Cowboys next week, home to Chiefs, home to Chargers, and the Saints. So could be possibly staring an 0-4 in the face. You would think they have a shot to beat the Saints, but then it's Eagles, Broncos, Eagles. You could be looking at that would be 1-5, 1-8 potentially. But again, it's like with the Jets. I mean, I think the key is this year, just seeing who's, part of your building blocks of the future. And I think Cam Scatterbo looks like that as well. I don't think he did anything yesterday, but obviously, Giants fans, of course. He did have a half sack, but Abdul Carter, a guy that could win the Defensive Rookie of the Year. So, we'll have to see, what happens there. And I don't know what Donna is saying here because she said it was 20-6, not 20-16, and I didn't say 20-6. I said 21-6. But I know, she just wants to make sure we got the score right. And then also here, I don't know why Ernie said this. Is your service down or mine, LMAO? But I think we're firing on all cylinders.
Oh, yeah, we're
right?
good over here.
And then also good to have Matt Bra with us. He says, "Oh, Morno, bros. You got the GC fired up and disappeared." I don't know what he means by that. Do you know? GC. Maybe he'll elaborate on it. But he also says Jets played with confidence.
Yeah.
Haven't seen that in a long time for them. That's very true. Like I said, the no punt since 91. So that was impressive. But so at the end of the day, I think the Commanders, in this game kind of picked up where they left off last year. But short turnaround at Packers Thursday Night Football. So be interesting to see how they play in that one. We'll get to the Packers game, but I don't think that's going to be an easy task. That's for sure. Moving along, we saw the Jags work through a lightning delay in Duval there, but outlasting the Panthers here 26-10. So really what has been a mess for Jacksonville the last couple of years, multiple head coaches, a lot of people saying Trevor Lawrence not living up to the hype. They had a great day yesterday as they ran for 200 yards on the ground, led by Travis Etienne, 16 for 143. Lawrence, 19 of 31, 178. Touchdown and interception, wasn't sacked. And, he also found a lot of different receivers. What was it? 7 different receivers for him, led by Brenton Strange, 4 for 59. Bryce Young, a lot of hype. Dave Canales, what he done with Baker? 18 of 35, 154, a touchdown and a pick, 4.4 yards per completion. So obviously those questions will come up again, but it is week 1. But I think at least for Jacksonville or for them, a lot of people thinking that Liam Cohen, another Baker, coach or somebody that worked with him anyway, helped that turnaround. What he can do with Trevor Lawrence. They will be in Cincinnati next week. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. And on the other side of things, Carolina coming up. They're at Cardinals, home to Falcons, and at Patriots. So, what will they do? But this is kind of do or die year, it feels like, for Bryce Young. And then, moving along here, we also saw the Broncos. This is in the afternoon window. Beat the Titans 20-12. So this was a game, and yes, the Titans, obviously they had the number 1 pick in Cam Ward, who was really bottled up, sacked 6 times, didn't turn it over, but was only 12 of 28 for 112 yards. But a lot of people thought that that Denver would blow them out here. And their defense played well, but I think the Titans defense played far better than what people were expecting. Denver was able to run the ball effectively, though, 30 for 151 in the score. Cortland Sutton did have a good game, 6 for 61. Knicks, 15 incompletions, two picks after a surprising strong rookie season. But I think Denver's going to be good. Again, week 1, you can't take too much stock into it. It'd be interesting to see. They're in Indianapolis next week. So, they obviously had a strong game. So is that going to be a close game or, being indoors too? I know they had the roof open yesterday in Indianapolis. But will Bo Nix play a cleaner game? We'll see. And then Cam Ward, that was the first start of his career. What will he do moving forward as the number 1 pick? And also Matt elaborates here, group chat. So he says you got the group chat fired up and disappeared. But it's like, listen, I sent them the link to come in here. So, I mean, that's on them to come through. But yeah, it's just kind of funny. I can only imagine what Hot Take Jai is saying. But it's like, I understand. Yes, am I poking the bear, Michael? Of course. But at the same time, I'm not hearing things. I was even talking to Josh about it after he said it yesterday. He specifically said the Giants are a better team than the Commanders. What do you want me to say? I mean, he said it, not me. But he said, Michael Bucket says, Barnes, the Jets could be looking at a 2-2 by the end of week 4. Bucks are mad and the Dolphins are in shits. Bucks are not mad. You better not say that to Tony. He'll flip out. But he's in the Jets, Michael. It's just, like I said, I'm into football as a whole, but the Jets, just because, like I said, it doesn't feel like they have a chance to win. It's just kind of one of those things. Okay. It's a bonus if they play well, Michael, but it's not the priority. It's about the Yankees, of course. And he says Jets better than the Giants, which I definitely agree with. And like I said, I think the Giants do have some building blocks, but you're not going to see the positive results this year anyway. But moving along, 4:00 window, we saw San Francisco, who Christian McCaffrey played. A lot of thoughts about, calf injury, is he going to be on IR again? Had 33 touches. So he helped them win here. And I thought Brock Purdy, fresh off that new contract, played really well. 26-35, 277, 2 touchdowns and 2 picks. QBR of 80. Christian McCaffrey, like I said, 69 on the ground, but also caught 9 for 73. The touchdowns caught by Kittle, who left with an injury, and Jake Tongs. So San Francisco's a team coming into the year. A lot of people say, they've lost a lot of guys. Ayuk's not going to come back for a couple months. They're going to be in shambles. But Brock Purdy's a good quarterback. I think some people forget that. And even if McCaffrey misses some time, I think they are well equipped because they have, I think it's Garendo and Brian Robinson Jr. as well to spell them. So Kyle Shanahan, one of the best coaches in the league. So I think they'll be just fine. Mike McDonald, I think, set a record for wins in his first season as Seattle head coach with 10 last year. But Sam Darnold in town now, 16 to 23, 150. So didn't do much through the air, and then ran for 14 yards on the ground. So he did have some good rapport with Jackson Smith and Jigba, 9 for 124, but only found Cooper Kupp 2 for 15. You'd expect him to get going more. But I think these are two good teams. I do think San Francisco probably better. They'll get a cupcake next week in New Orleans, you would think anyway. So it'll be interesting to see how these teams do in the NFC West and when they match up again at Steelers for Seattle next week. So you would think that would be a tough matchup for Sam Darnold. Will there be some ghosts in Western Pennsylvania next week? I guess we'll see. And then moving along, we saw Ernie's Packers 27-13 over the Lions. This is something that I definitely saw coming here. And listen, the Lions will be a good team, most likely a playoff team, but I just think it's tough. You think about their two-year trajectory. Really, 3 years ago, they come out of nowhere, 9-8, miss the playoffs, but play way better than anticipated. And then, make the NFC Championship game the next year, collapse against San Francisco. Last year, all the wins in the regular season, then don't win a playoff game. So it's like, what are they going to do this year? You lose both of your coordinators, and they definitely looked a little flat yesterday. Jared Goff, I think, played decent, 31-39, kind of more check down, 225, a touchdown and a pick. But they didn't run the ball effectively. That's been, the Dan Campbell 4th and 5 up the middle. They only averaged 2.1 yards per carry on 22 attempts. And then, Sam Laporta had a good game receiving, 6 for 79. But Jordan Love, I thought, played pretty well. A lot of concern about that hand, 16-22, 188, 2 touchdowns. They ran the ball for 78 yards. Josh Jacobs, 66 and a touchdown, and Dobbs was the leading receiver, 2 for 68. And, of course, Jordan Love spraying the ball out. Like we mentioned, Packers will have that game at home against the Commanders on Thursday, and I'm expecting a big game out of them. And then Micah Parsons late in that game also had a sack. But Green Bay's a team that I have my eye on. I mean, I think I did pick him to go to the Super Bowl. So definitely excited to watch more of their games this year. And again, it's week 1, so just how the teams progress as the year goes on. We'll see the Bears tonight, but they are going to be at the Lions next week. So that'll be the Lions game, and that's a game you feel like they should win. But then you have some difficult opponents coming up other than the Browns, but you have at Ravens, home to Browns, at Bengals, at Chiefs, home to Bucks, home to Vikings, at Commanders, at Eagles before you play the Giants. So, this is going to be tough sledding, and, with 2 new coordinators, Dan Campbell definitely has, his work cut out for him. And then Michael Buck is saying, I don't think the Seahawks are going to beat us next week. Steelers will win 23-20. I wouldn't be surprised if it's more of a decisive victory than that, Michael. I think it's just a tough environment for Sam Darnold to go into. That's for sure. And then the last 4 o'clock game, we saw the Rams 14-9 over the Texans. So a lot of talk. Matthew Stafford, people weren't sure with the back. Would he be ready for week 1? Almost got traded in the offseason, but he actually played pretty well here. 21-29, had a touchdown pass to Davis Allen, found his leading receiver Puka Nacua 10 for 130, and kind of like Cooper Kupp, who ironically Devontae Adams replaced, I think he'll get him going more. He was only 4 for 51 in this game. But I'm a believer in McVay, believer in Stafford, and that's why I picked them to win that division. And their defense stepped up. I mean, you bottled C.J. Stroud, 188, no touchdowns and interceptions, sacked 3 times. You did give up 114 on the ground, but I think they'll do a better job with that, as the season progresses. And then also last game of the night, the best game of the day yesterday. How about the Bills? 41-40 over the Ravens. And this is a game that, the Bills trailed by 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, but were able to come back, aided by a Derrick Henry fumble, which is a shame because Derrick Henry all game was just an absolute menace. 18 for 169, 2 touchdowns, had a 49-yard run. As a team, they ran for 238. Lamar even did a pretty good job through the air, 14 of 19, 209, 2 touchdowns, also ran for 70 yards and a score on the ground. But their defense, it's interesting. The Baltimore Ravens, growing up, the days of Ed Reed and Ray Lewis and Terrell Suggs and Chris McAllister, their defense has not been right the last couple of years. And it's interesting. I know Jim Harbaugh, their head coach, they've had a couple of defensive coordinators. He's a special teams guy. But it's been very shocking to see because the Ravens were always the team, book it, first defense off the board in fantasy football. And it just hasn't been that way. So it'll be interesting to see if they can turn that defense around. Offensively, they're good. I mean, obviously, what's Lamar going to do in the playoffs? And I think some of that is, too, they go away from the run. And I was saying this in the TCA chat last night. It's like Derrick Henry, if he's averaging, I mean, I know he's not going to average 9.4 yards per season. I think last year he averaged almost 6. But it's like he's going to get that many yards on runs, and the defense knows it's coming. I mean, why do you go away from that? Because they've done that in the playoffs before. But regardless, you can't give up 40 points, and that's what they did. And Josh Allen getting his team down the field late. He played tremendous, almost threw for 400 yards, 33 of 46, 394, 2 touchdowns. He also ran for 2 touchdowns, so 4 total touchdowns for Josh Allen. James Cook had a rushing touchdown as well, only 13 carries for 44 yards, but I think he'll have another strong season at running back. He mentioned about getting Dalton Kincaid involved more, 4 for 48 in a score, and Keon Coleman had 8 receptions for 112 yards and a touchdown. So the Bills, listen, I mean, obviously it was a tight game. They missed a couple 2-point conversions, so they were fortunate that they were able to get into position for Prater to kick the game winner, and he's filling in for Tyler Bass. 41 years old now, I think, for Matt Prater, but he was 3 of 3 and hit 2 of his extra points, 2 for 2. So listen, I think the Bills, I mean, we know they're overdue to go to the Super Bowl. And there's been a lot of talk about the comparison between these two quarterbacks. And listen, they both, at the end of the day, have not gotten to a Super Bowl. So how do we really measure things? They're both former MVPs. I think Lamar has 2. Josh only has 1. But I still just, and it's not really has to do with the Bills squeaking out this win, but I do believe in Josh Allen more. I do think he will win a Super Bowl first. I don't know if Lamar will ever win one. We'll see. But at the end of the day, if I have one quarterback that needs to go the length of the field in 2 minutes, give me Josh Allen all day. So I think both defenses should improve, but we'll see what they do moving forward. The Bills are at the Jets next week, and then home to the Dolphins, Saints, Patriots, at Falcons, Panthers. So pretty manageable schedule there for the Bills. But that was just a tremendous game last night. It's a shame we had to listen to Chris Collinsworth call it. And then the Ravens will be home against the Browns next week, so you'd expect them to maybe see that defense get going, get in Flacco's face. But then home to Lions, at Chiefs, home to Texans, Rams, and Bears. So big year for Jim Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson because while they've had a lot of regular season success, it is John Harbaugh. My bad on that, Michael Butka. And then Matt Bra says, can't believe the Ravens lost that game. Yeah, I mean, it definitely was shocking. They were rolling. That Bills defense couldn't stop a sieve, that's for sure. But that's what happened. And then I guess I will touch on, because we didn't get to talk about this, because this obviously happened over the weekend, but the game in Brazil, we saw the Chargers beat the Chiefs 27-21. Terrible luck for Xavier Worthy for the Chiefs. Runs into Travis Kelce. Looks like a long-term injury. I think a dislocated shoulder. And it's interesting, the Chiefs. I mean, they've been to 3 straight Super Bowls. A lot of extra games, a lot of extra wear and tear. I've been saying this for a while. They've become a defensive football team. You think back when Mahomes first started, he's dropping 30, 40 points every game. Last year, I don't think they scored 30 all season. And this was a game where they had some opportunities, but just it feels like they really lacked the big plays. So, Kelce only 2 catches in this one for 47 yards. And the Chargers team that they had a lot of success against, I think did a good job defensively and offensively. And it is for the Chargers, Michael Butka, Jim Harbaugh. I think he has the track record where he's won everywhere he's went, and I think he will continue the progression of Justin Herbert, who people, maybe are looking for a little more for. He was flawless in this one, 25 of 34, 3 touchdowns, 318, 9.4 yards an attempt, and 88.9 quarterback rating. And Quentin Johnston, the former first-round pick, also had 2 touchdowns. And how about Keenan Allen? Back after a 1-year hiatus with the Bears, 7 for 68 and a score. So Chargers are a team that I think could go farther than people think. And yes, of course, yes, they have to make the playoffs, win playoff games before we're talking about that. But with Jim Harbaugh, you definitely have a shot. They have the second game of a Monday Night Football doubleheader. So 1 week from tonight, 10 o'clock start time in Las Vegas. So that should be a big one. Harbaugh versus Carroll. And then they have another division game with the Broncos before they do a little NFC East tour with the Giants and the Commanders. And then on the other side of the field there, the Kansas City Chiefs will be home to the Eagles Super Bowl rematch, 4:30 game on Fox on Sunday, and then at the Giants. So, big game there with the Eagles. So that should be an interesting one. I mean, the Eagles, didn't have a decisive, win there against Dallas. So it'll be interesting to see how they look, against the Chiefs. And obviously, the Chiefs in this one, having the home field advantage. So we'll see if that plays to their benefit. And then I did see here, Matt Bra says, I went to bed at 40-25, the Bills-Ravens game, and JD said I could go to sleep and not worry about the Ravens losing, which obviously wasn't the case. But it's just, whenever we're watching these guys who, we feel like they're future Hall of Famers, obviously they got some work to do to make that happen. You can't count them out. Give them the ball. They can make things happen. They can get down the field quick, especially with these new kickoff rules starting at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, it's crazy.
20 yards to get in the field goal range. So you never know what will happen. But I really enjoyed watching that game last night. That's for sure. So, that was really your week one. Obviously, one more game tonight with the Vikings and Bears. And also, we were texting about it. Tony, me, Kevin, Josh, the picks. We both went 2-1. So it looks like it'll be another competitive season with the DTV TCA picks. But speaking of picks, the game tonight, we do have the Vikings and the Bears. So this one in Chicago. What will Caleb Williams do with new head coach Ben Johnson? Obviously, Williams is sophomore season, a little uneven rookie year, head coach fired, all of that. And then, what would have been his second season, obviously had the knee injury last year, but going to be J.J. McCarthy's rookie season with Minnesota, stepping in for Sam Darnold. What will he do? So two teams, that are, looking to take steps forward. Obviously, Minnesota not winning a playoff game last year. Will they be able to get back to that point? But it will start at Soldier Field in Chicago, Michael. 8:15, ABC, ESPN, Joe Buck, Troy Aikman. I see on the advertisement here, Peyton and Eli as well. Not that I've ever listened to more than 5 minutes of that one. So the Minnesota Vikings, slight favorites here, -1.5, total set at 43.5. And I find myself torn because I feel like Ben Johnson, a couple years with the Lions, really proven he's a offensive innovator. And, he's got talent to work with, with the Bears here, with the Dunze, with DJ Moore, with Swift, with Loveland. But then Minnesota obviously was pretty good. Their defense was great last year, but it's just such a wild card. J.J. McCarthy, the first start of his career on the road, the Windy City, Chicago. So it's just like one of those things. My overall feeling here is that Minnesota is the better team, but I think Chicago is going to take that step forward, and Chicago will probably take a step forward. While Minnesota, I think they won, 14 games last year, possibly taking a step back. It still could be a good team winning 10 or 11 games. So I think close game like the spread suggests, and I think I could see it going over as well, 43.5. Maybe not the 81 combined points we saw on Sunday Night Football, but I think it'll be over that total. So at the end of the day, I think it's a close, maybe a field goal game here. But give me Minnesota winning this one 24-21. So that would be the Vikings and the over. So just like that, your Monday Night Football one gamer pick segment to wrap up week one before we get up and get ready for week 2. Lambeau Field, we know Ernie's riled for the Packers and the Commanders. And also continuing the football theme here, Michael Bucket says they keep on changing the rules of the kickoffs. Vikings-Bear going to be a shit fest. Wouldn't you, is it just me or, because obviously he has like, oh, he's riled for Ernie, he's riled for Tommy, Hot Take Johnny. But just with the sports, Michael, I just want more positivity out of you. Even after the Steelers won yesterday, he goes, oh, yeah, it's going to be a long season after I said, oh, they look pretty good. And then he's talking about the Mets and nothing about the Yankees. Like, come on, Michael. Like, what do you think that is? I mean, it's just he's listening to Matthew Ryan too much?
Yeah, and Hot Take Johnny.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. He says he's riled for football, but let's see some more positiveness out of you, Michael. I know he says it's back, but I know he does. If there is one person that he will attempt to listen to, it does feel like it's me. So maybe we'll see some more positive comments. We will see. So a good day yesterday, the first Sunday of the season. We'll see what we have in store at Soldier Field tonight. But for now, Michael, if we could go to the world of Major League Baseball.
Pujols it's deep to left. It's 700. Albert Pujols.
Yeah, what a play! Stop it. Yep.
And Alonso cracks one. The Mets win the ball game. Out of sight.
And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeout.
Throw deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.
All right. So your New York Yankees, the disappointment of that loss on Friday, rebounding with 2 tight wins over Toronto, pick up that game in the standings. So they are now 2 games back. And it was one of those things that, it felt like it was meant to be, Michael, because so originally one of my dad's friends had tickets for us, and the whole time we're thinking the game Saturday. And then he asked me, it's one of those things, that generation, the phone, oh, you got to go stop over his house, transfer the tickets from his phone to your phone, all that stuff. So I do that to the game's Friday. And it's like, I already had plans with Sam on Friday. So I was like, all right, you know what I'll do? I'll take those tickets, sell them, and then buy tickets for Saturday, which would happen, which was great because, if we had went Friday, it would have been terrible. Because they lost, I think it was 7-1, and got like 3 hits. So works out in that regard. So obviously not too much to touch on when it comes to Friday's game yet. It was 7-1, 1 run, 4 hits. And Cam Schlittler, who the rookie had been very impressive, up to this point in the season, just didn't have it. I mean, got into trouble early, 1 2/3, 5 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, 2 Ks. So, once you put yourself in that hole, it kind of took the wind out of the sails. Kevin Gaussman was lights out, 8 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. But fortunately, Ryan Yarbrough, back from injury, first appearance, somewhat saved the bullpen, basically making a start out of the pen. 5 1/3, 3 hits, 1 run, no walks, 3 strikeouts. So at least that was a good sign. And then the only offense, Giancarlo Stanton, who was 2 for 4 in this one, hit his 19th home run of the season. And this was the first game we saw Aaron Judge in over a month back in the outfield. It's just, I don't know. It's a tough thing because we saw the best of both worlds here. Obviously, I mean, the Yankees want to avoid playing Giancarlo Stanton in the outfield, but Judge hasn't really made full throws from the outfield, and we're used to him seeing him make some of the best throws in the entire league, and he's just doing like cutoff throws. Kind of feels like you're giving the team free bases. However, I think it was in, I think it was yesterday's game. He makes a diving catch, saves a run. So it's like you kind of fight back and forth with that, but it just seems like that arm isn't right. So something to monitor. Obviously, we don't want to make that worse, but we need his bat in the lineup, and we are the best team when he's in the field. So that fortunately, though, that was the only negative part of the weekend. And the game I was at, the Yankees end up winning on Saturday 3-1. And great seats. I love being in the left field main level. only 4 rows from the field. So really home run territory. No home runs hit that day, but definitely could have been right behind Jason Dominguez. He was routed for the roll call. So that was cool to see. And speaking of Dominguez, he got things started for the Yankees in the second with a single to center to score Cody Bellinger. And then also later in that inning, Austin Wells had a sac fly to make it 2-0 Yankees. And that was all the run support that Luis Gil needed in his best start of the year. Still had 4 walks, so the command's still somewhat of a concern. But he goes 6 innings. He only gives up 3 hits, 1 run, only 1 strikeout, but picks up his 3rd win of the season. So ERA right now sitting at 3.31. I think that's pretty good, being that his first start was a disaster. Other than that, I think it's 2 runs or less he's allowed in every start. So as he works his way back from a long layoff, the rookie of the year last year, so that was a positive sign. And the only run the Jays score in the second. Yankees try to turn 2 double plays, but the value of speed, IKF, the former Yankee, beating it out to make it 2-1. And then what was really exciting, it was the top of the 6th inning. And I mentioned to you, Michael, before the show, there was a rain delay in the middle of this game. So the rain starts coming down. The tarp's going on the field. In this game, Aaron Judge, DH, not in right field, Cody Bellinger in there. He hoses Bo Bichette at the plate to keep the game at 2-1. Literally the last play before the Tarps put on the field. So, I mean, we could, wax poetic about Cody Bellinger. I mean, the season he has for a guy that was traded to us basically as a salary dump, a guy that we even got the Cubs to pay $2.5 million of his salary, has arguably been, other than Aaron Judge, the most valuable player on this team. So that was an electric moment, seeing him make the throw. After the rain delay, we get out on offense. Austin Wells hits a sac fly to make it 3-1 to give us some more breathing room. And then Luke Weaver, Fernando Cruz, and David Bednar, combine to give the Yankees 2 scoreless innings, allowing 2 hits, 1 walk, and striking out 4. And that all amounted to a Yankee 3-1 victory. Bednar, 3rd time pitching in 4 days, but you would never know it. A 4-out save, striking out 3. Definitely an outstanding acquisition for the Yankees at the trade deadline. Great to have Fernando Cruz back in this bullpen as well. That splitter is unbelievable. And the emotion he shows out there on the mound. And Luke Weaver had given up runs his previous appearances, so after giving up the hit, he's taken out of the game there. But I think he's, that's the 3 I think we're going to count on late in games. And obviously we had a different situation yesterday because the bullpen a little taxed. Luckily, off day today will reset that. But I think Bednar in the 9th, Cruz in the 8th, Weaver in the 7th. That's going to be our formula down the stretch. But big game yesterday. Obviously, going for the series. Yankees end up winning 4-3. Max Fried picking up his 16th victory of the season. And I think it was impressive the way that Max Fried battled in this one. I mean, early, didn't seem to have his best stuff, but fortunately, he was staked to a 3-0 lead because Ben Rice, first inning with a 3-run homer. What a season Ben Rice has had after being demoted to the minors after the 3-home run game last year. Has really been one of their most productive hitters. Every time he's up, he's hitting the ball hard. So 3-0 lead there. Fried gets into a little trouble, 2nd and 3rd. So the Blue Jays end up tying the game up. But then bottom 3rd, who else? Cody Bellinger just missing a 2-run homer, hits off the top of the wall, scores Aaron Judge, gives the Yankees a 4-3 lead, and they would actually hold that lead the entirety of the game. Fried gutting it out after a high pitch count early, throws 100 pitches exactly, makes it through 7 innings. Gives up 6 hits, those 3 runs, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. ERA now down to 3.02 after that rough patch. And then everybody, of course, has the heart attack. Devin Williams, a hit, a walk in the 8th inning, but is able to work around it to pitch a scoreless inning. And then, they go back to Bednar again. So, like I said, the 3rd time in 4 days, his 22nd save of the year, works around a single. It just seems like he's made for that role. Obviously the stuff is there. He hits 98. He's got a good curveball. Control is pretty good. But also being a closer, the stuff is important. I mean, there's no denying that. But the composure, the intensity, the will to compete. And David Bednar, who spent his whole career in Pittsburgh, now he comes over to the Yankees. I mean, he's relished this chance to be a closer in these big games, and he's given us everything we could hope for. So that was just a huge win, taking the series from Toronto. So this 12-game gauntlet, you're 4-2 through the first 6 games, another 4-2, and you should be exactly where you need to be. Now 80-63 on the year, 43-29. Now 2 games back at Toronto in the division. After a couple of weeks ago being, I believe, 7 back. You're 7-3 in your last 10. Toronto's only 5-5. A plus 140 run differential. Toronto's only a plus 65. So it's clear the Yankees are the best team in this division, but obviously there's work to be done to cement that. And they've gained now a game and a half up on Boston after being down a couple games to them. That Boston, a game and a half behind. So you look at the wild card standings, Yankees in that first position, and then the game and a half up on Boston, but also 5 games up on the Seattle Mariners, who have all of a sudden 3 teams breathing down their neck. The Rangers are a game and a half back. Kansas City's 2 games back. Cleveland's 2.5 back, and even Tampa, who seemed dead in the water, did lose 3 in a row, so they had things a little closer. But they're 4 back with still a shot. So going to be interesting to see who gets that third wild card spot. They would play the Houston Astros right now. The Yankees would host the Red Sox, but obviously hoping to get that division, get that bye. So we'll have to see, what they do coming up against Detroit. So it's going to be off today, and then looking ahead, pitching matchup-wise, against the Tigers, you're going to get Will Warren on the hill versus Casey Mize tomorrow. Carlos Rodon versus Jack Flaherty on Wednesday, and then unannounced for Detroit on Thursday, but Cam Schlittler will look to rebound from that poor performance against the Blue Jays, and then it's Fenway Park. This is everything there. The Red Sox have embarrassed us up to this point this season, 2-8 against the Red Sox. Really need 2 out of 3. We'll get Heel Giolito, Fried Bayo, Warren Crochet. So it's just one of those things. Listen, still work to be done. But the past month, I think best record in the majors. So that's all you could ask for. And the whole thing was you can't beat the good teams, and you just took 2 out of 3. Really should have swept the Astros. So I think that's just everything you could hope for, and you want to continue to prove it. So it's just a good feeling as a fan. You have all those people telling you why you can't, but then for you to change the narrative and tell them why you can, you just can't beat it. That's for sure. And a couple more comments here. So Michael Buck is saying, Steelers look good, I'll admit, but I need to see a majority the rest of the way. And then Matt Bruss says, Yankees doing okay. Didn't watch yesterday because of the Jets game. Big G is why we have a chance in the playoffs. But I think it's more than that. Obviously, yes, Matt, he's been our catalyst, since he's been here. I mean, he always performs in the postseason, but I'm expecting this year to be different because, sure, we had Juan Soto last year, but the surrounding cast is just so much stronger when you think about, of course, we're already assuming Judge in this, but what Bellinger is going to bring to the table, what Ben Rice is going to bring to the table. I think Jazz will have a better postseason this year. So I think the offense, is really going to be dialed in. I like the remade bullpen. I think we're a lot stronger there. I know, obviously, there's been some hiccups, and we're all going to have a heart attack every time Devin Williams gets in the game. But like I said, I do like that Bednar, Cruz, Weaver, at the end of the game. I think that's just massive. So, and then I like the top of our rotation with Fried and Rodon. We'll see if Schlittler or Heel gets that third spot. So I think there's a lot to like, but work to be done. Let's take these next 2 series, and then we'll really be in the driver's seat. I think if we take those next 2 series, we'll find ourselves in first place in the American League East. But we'll see. Be nice to rest up today, get that bullpen reset, and then we'll go on from there. So what we'll do, obviously, with the Yankees off, we do have a decent amount of games here. Red Sox will be playing against the Athletics. That's in Sacramento. So obviously hoping for a loss there. Garrett Crochet on the mound, but you never know with that ballpark. Balls seem to fly out. So I think what we'll do here, Michael, If we could strike up the music, do an MLB pick segment, we'll go the full slate. And of course, this pick segment brought to you by Velvet Llama. And like I like to say, ride the wave. But we're going to start in Cleveland, Progressive Field. The Cleveland Guardians hosting the Royals. Siccione versus Burgett. Two teams fighting for that third wild card spot. And you look at the recent performances of the team. Guardians have been hot. Winners of 4 out of 5. Took 3 out of 4 in Tampa. The Royals just took 2 out of 3 from Minnesota. Overall, have won 3 out of their last 5 games. I look at this matchup, and I just like Kansas City better. I think better offense, better team overall. So, division game, though, road game, so I think tight. But give me the Royals winning here 4-3, so that'd be the under with the 7.5. So we'll say Royals in the under for the first selection of the day. Moving along, Marlins hosting the Nationals here. Junk versus Cavelli. Obviously, 2 bottom feeders. Don't need to spend too much time on this game. Marlins at home, though, I just kind of like the way they play at home. 32-39, but I guess better than they are on the road. Nats have been hot. Winners of 4 out of 5. Marlins have been not, so maybe a reversal in trends here. I think a low-scoring game, so the under again. Give me the Marlins here, 4-2. Moving along here, we do have, and we weren't going to say the name, but they're part of the frenzy, so we do have to mention the Mets. Nolan McLean here matched up against Aaron Nola. So obviously, big game here for the Mets. I know they have a good cushion against the Cincinnati Reds. And, the Phillies here, in the driver's seat in the division. Aaron Nola has been terrible this year, 3-8, 6-7-8. This is interesting. Everything would point to, especially the way McLean's pitched, to go with the Mets. But I think a road game, rookie starter, Phillies are definitely the better team. So I'm going to go with the Phillies here. I think a lot of runs, because I think McLean is due to kind of a little awakening call. And then I think Aaron Nola obviously has a 6-7-8 for a reason. But Kyle Schwarber, maybe 2 homers, 7 RBIs. Give me the Phillies 10-5 over the Mets. So that'd be the Phillies and the over. Moving along here, Cubs, Braves, coming to you from Truist Park. Amanga Elder. Braves, obviously, one of the biggest disappointments in the league this year, 64-79. Cubs, top wildcard spot, have a stranglehold there, 81-62. Imanaga's been good. So give me the Cubs. I think Imanaga maybe holds them down. So I'm going to say Cubs, maybe a 4-2, so we'll go the under again there. Moving along, going to Texas, Brewers, Rangers, Quintana Latz. Brewers, obviously best record in the majors, 89-55. Rangers vying for that last wildcard spot. But give me the Brewers here. I think Quintana holds them down. That offense has been definitely inconsistent. Good record at home at 44-28. Brewers, though, 43-29 on the road. Another under, I'll say Brewers winning this game 4-1. Brewers in the under. 9:38, Angel Stadium, Anaheim, California. You got Twins, Angels, Woods Richardson versus Donna. I guess, these are 2 bad teams here. Give me the Angels, though. I think they're a little better. Obviously, Twins trade away a lot of guys. So we'll go over on this one. We'll say the Angels win 6-3. Angels over. Padres, Reds. Reds coming off taking 2 out of 3 at home against the Mets. Padres, up and down year. Right there, though, for the division with the Dodgers. Big game, Darvish, Lodolo. Darvish hasn't been good, 3-5, 5-7-5. Lodolo's pitched well, 8-7, 3-2-2. Padres good at home, though, 43-25. Reds, 32-37. I think this is another under at the beautiful Petco Park, but 4-2 Padres and the under. Mariners, Cards, Woo, Mikolos, another under. Mariners far better than the Cardinals, even though they've been very inconsistent. But I think this is literally another under, like a Cal Raleigh three-run homer, 4th inning, only offense of the game. Woo, maybe complete game shutout for Woo. He's been great, 12-7, 302. Mariners under. Giants, Diamondbacks. Logan Webb against Chris Smott here. Giants heavy favorites, -185. Been playing far better after struggling for the first parts of this season. Diamondbacks trying to hang in there. Both in there are the Giants, but obviously they're kind of buried there in the wild card. But give me Logan Webb to have a good performance here. I know I keep going under, but it just seems like it's going to happen. Webb maybe 7 scoreless. Giants, I don't know, 5-1. Giants in the under. 2 games left here. A's, Red Sox, Sacramento. Oh boy, this is tough. I mean, it seems like the Red Sox are going to win this game. So, got to be fair. So, despite maybe Crochet will give up 3 runs because of the altitude there in Sacramento, I think the Red Sox do win, unfortunately. So, and they've, going into yesterday, they had lost 3 in a row, almost got swept in Arizona. So, I'll say, though, Red Sox win this game 7-5. So, we'll go, Red Sox in the over. And then the last game, scuffling Dodgers, obviously in a dogfight there with the Padres. Really need a win. They've lost games to the Rockies before. Undecided starter, minus 325. Rockies have lost 103 games already. So even though the Dodgers, I mean, you look at some of these results recently, you can't count on them for one thing. And you look at the season series as well. They're 8-2, so they have held their own against the Rockies. Just that one series, they lost 2 out of 3. But the Dodgers had lost 4 in a row before beating Baltimore yesterday. But they're going to go back to the winning ways. I think give me an over here, too. We did a lot of unders. This is like a 10-4 game. Dodgers over, just like that. MLB pick segment. And, of course, brought to you by the Velvet Llama, Michael. So just last order of business here before we wrap it up. If we could pull up the old immaculate grid, Michael.
Yes, we can. Boom. Just give me one sec.
Oh, yeah.
Bang. Oh, this was last time.
It should be grid 890.
Yeah, give me a sec. Okay, yep.
All right, so starting there, top left, Elvis Andrus.
Elvis Andrus.
Yes.
%.
Okay. Right below him, Mike Napoli.
6%.
Right below him, Martin Perez. It's Martin, but I've just figured for the spelling purposes. Martin Perez.
Okay, got it. We are 0.2%.
Okay, right next to him, so on the bottom there, middle, Gregory Soto.
0.9.
There we go. Outside of the born outside of the United States and playing first base. Let's see, trying to get a little creative here. Let's go with Edwin Encarnacion, a Matthew favorite.
Bottom right or
Bottom
top?
right.
Bottom right. 0.6.
There we go. So moving along here. Now thinking about first base, Boston Red Sox. If you could do Bobby Dahlbeck, and that's going to be middle right.
2%.
There we go. All right, now just got to think the Chicago White Sox first base. Edwin would have been a good one. I'm kind of mad that I did that, but I know that there's other guys, and I'm just not thinking of the right guy right now. I know Konerko, but that's going to be high. Tomey's going to be high. Thomas is going to be high. Okay, Ernie here if needed. Maybe Ernie, if you have a set. Oh yeah, because Ernie's home too. Maybe he could give us a call if he's around. But I'll try to work through this while we're waiting on that.
Here if needed, he said.
Yeah. So Ernie, might need you for a couple if you could maybe give us a ring. All right. So Orioles and Red Sox. Just thinking Orioles, White Sox too. I think is it Mateo? Who's the guy? It's not Mateo. Starters. It's not. Oh. Okay. I think
Ernie's on the line.
Yeah. Let's get him on the line here.
Ernie. You there, bud?
Ernie. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Connection problem?
Should be coming through. Ernie.
Oh, there he is.
Hold on one sec. For some reason. Try talking now. Let's disconnect. Let's connect again. It says we're connected. Ernie, you got something? It's weird. I'll just put him on. All right, Ernie.
Yearny. What's good, brother? Great day, right?
What's going on? Well, it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day.
How you enjoying the day off?
Actually, I made some pancakes and eggs this morning.
Wow.
I'm playing MLB The Show. I'm about to smoke. It's a very good day.
There you go. So I was just trying to see, like, I have guys that, to fill in these last three spots, but if you had anybody kind of unorthodox, so, what I was thinking, would like first base, Andrew Vaughn, White Sox spot. I didn't know if there was someone kind of off the radar besides the Canercos and the Thomases. Just if you had anybody, first base, White Sox, kind of a sleeper.
Well, do you want to do the other ones first and then finish there? Or?
Oh yeah, whatever you want. I mean, for the other ones, for White Sox, Orioles, I was thinking Kimbrel, but I know that might be somewhat popular, so I didn't know if there was anybody else. And then for the Boston,
Hanser Alberto, Josh B.
Did he say which one?
White Sox.
But I wonder, Ernie, do you think that's White Sox first base or White Sox Orioles?
O's, White Sox O's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's White Sox O's. I mean, you can use that if you want. I have Orioles Red Sox for you. You can use what? Oh, fuck! I just had him in my head. Brady Anderson.
I didn't know he played for Boston. That's crazy.
He played
3%
Boston.
Wow.
In like '88.
Okay.
Brady Anderson.
And then so for Orioles, White Sox, I guess go Alberto.
Let's do it. .7.
Wow. Okay. And then Andrew Vaughn, or someone else, Ernie, for first base, White Sox.
White Sox first base, you said?
Yeah.
I mean, you could go Vaughn, but I know you didn't want to go Canerco or Frank Thomas.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who else.
All right. I mean, you can kind of, it's funny. A lot of people don't remember this, but do you know who the first baseman was? And I'm gonna be extremely racially biased here, but do you know who the first baseman was between Frank Thomas and Paul Canerco?
No.
A guy from the island of Puerto Rico, Mayagüez. His name is Will Cordero, 1L.
Yeah, okay.
W-I-L,
I kind of did. Yeah, he like a cup of coffee, right?
Yeah, W-I-L Cordero.
Yeah, we got it. That was at 0.10%.
So 20. There we go. Ernie.
Yeah.
Strong finish there. I feel like that was
Will Cordero's a Puerto Rico guy.
I feel like when you said Cordero, I'm thinking like Jimmy Cordero, and then there was Francisco Cordero for Texas.
Yeah, no, he played he played in the 90s, like early 2000. He was one of those like Expos guys that started.
Yeah, no, that's a snipe there. Yeah, so I'm happy with the 20, but I think both of us would agree though. What we're really most happy about is the 2 out of 3 over the weekend.
Oh, I mean, listen, I just want some apologies in the group chats. I want some Ernie and Barnes, you guys were right. I want some, we apologize for not being believers. I want some, just some all around good vibes right now, bro. Like if anybody could look at the Yankees and see what they're doing, and have a complaint, bro, you're just looking
delusional.
For shit
Talking
to
about
complain
delusional.
Like,
yeah.
Like you're really just looking for shit to complain about.
And I've said this, and from the peanut gallery, I haven't got them to acknowledge it, but I still think the whole thing is, and listen, at the end of the day, me and you as Yankee fans, Michael as well, it's like not winning at the end of the day is never good enough. Like no one's saying that, but I just think the difference is for them. Okay, so since it's been just long enough, they're just done and they're just going to complain about everything and just say the sky is falling until they win. Other than that, it's just always going to be just a constant complaint and just the first sign of trouble, just bailing. Well, we look at it as, listen, obviously bad signs are bad signs, but have we not watched sports long enough where the unexpected always happens? If we always knew what was going to happen, why would we watch?
I mean, it's like we were talking about on JD's show that I tried to make a good point, and it kind of settled down the conversation. Like if you look around the entire league, there isn't a dominant team in the entire league where you can say all year long, yeah, that's been the team. Like, nah, bro. Like it's a 162 game season. Like people forget that 162 games. You're gonna have good months, bad stretches, good stretches. The only thing that matters is how you look going into the playoffs and how you're playing in the playoffs. That's all that matters, bro. From game 1 to game 140, the interchangeable and mixable parts that you've used to get to this point, like you just have to make sure going forward now, the last month of baseball, going into the playoffs, you're hot, you're firing on all cylinders. The guys that you want to use, the guys that you use all year are available and healthy and rested. This is the time that you want to be able to get to where you were in the beginning of the year, where playoffs is about to start and you feel and look like you have the best team going in. And right now the Yankees are playing the best ball in the month of the end of August and early September. We're in the last, what was it, Barnes, 15 or 20 game stretch?
Yeah, I think 14-5 or 15-4, something like that.
Something like that in the last 20 days, and it's the best record in MLB. I mean, look, bro, you can't be upset. As a Yankee fan, you can't be upset. You have to look at it as a positivity. You have to look at it as we have a shot. We're going in hot. And if you're anything other than that, bro, maybe you're not a real Yankee fan.
Right.
Maybe maybe you're just not a true Yankee fan. Not like Kev says, oh, you're not a real Yankee fan. You didn't see any of your championships. No. You're you're a real Yankee fan when regardless how your team is playing, you believe you have a shot. The only thing that I can honestly say, Kev, I can agree with what Kev has said about the Yankees, is that the Yankees are somewhat like the Cowboys. But the difference is we win more. So it's just we every year, we should be able to say this is our year. Why? Because we're the fucking New York Yankees. We build our team to be able to say that and be realistic about it. Like, how many years do we make the playoffs in a row? How many times do you see us not in the playoffs? How many times do you see us blown out, bro? Like, usually 9 times out of 10, we're there. We're fighting until the very last inning, very last breath. So it's just like everybody got to just bow down and be happy to see that the Kings of New York are back.
Yeah. No, 100%. No, I couldn't agree more. And it just at the end of the day, we're just with them through and through, and whatever happens. But there's just a lot of good signs right now. And one thing that I like, and I was talking about before, is just like, listen, obviously they've cost us some games, but not these 3 guys. I think for the most part, anyway, I think like it's just lights out having Weaver 7th, Cruz 8th, and Bednar 9th. Bednar has really just embraced the closer role.
I like it. I think I think that's the way it should be going forward. I think they need to drop Devin off a fucking boat somewhere. But if we can maintain Weaver, Cruz, sometimes mix in Hill and Yarbrough if we need them, and have Bednar close them out. I like our bullpen going into the playoffs.
Yeah, and like Doval, maybe low leverage, 5th, 6th inning, I think as long as we keep him there, we'll be good. And we have him for I think either 1 more year or 2 more years. I think he has the stuff to be better. He just needs to be a little retooled. So I think if we put the pause button on him in high leverage too, we'll be okay. And I think I love what the offense is doing. It just seems like it's a new guy stepping up every game, whether it's Bellinger or Rice or Stanton or Judge or Jazz. It just seems like they constantly pass the baton. So a lot to like. And
our mediocre guys and former MVPs that mean absolutely shit, right? Isn't that what they said in the beginning of the year?
Yeah.
Mediocre guys. Oh, Cody's a former MVP. What does that mean? Yankees always get former MVPs. It doesn't mean shit. Oh, well, look at that. Look at what that means. It's called caliber and experience. That's what that means.
And I said this before because Kev does the same thing, but I forgot. Derpy was saying it too. Like, you just, like, they're just so anxious for the Yankee downfall that it's just like there's just blinders on, and they just look for anything and they just run with it. But at the end of the day, most times it's just not true. And Bellinger's an example too, because a lot of people said, "Oh, look at all those bad years he had. He's not gonna. You think he's gonna hit 30 home runs?" A joke. Like, he's gonna hit 30. He could hit almost 35, and he could win the Platinum Glove on top of it as well, or the Utility Gold Glove. He's been unbelievable. So it's just been a treat. And I haven't even mentioned Trent Grisham, who's had like huge hit after huge hit as well. So a lot to like, and can't wait for the game tomorrow.
Man, let's go. We got a big series now. Now, this is how I feel. We win the next 2 series. Can't nobody say dick about the Yankees.
Nope.
You have to just say, yo, we look good going into the playoffs. They have an absolute shot of winning the World Series. Very simple. I expect nothing less of Yankee fans. If you call yourself a Yankee fan and we win these not even the next 2 series. If we beat Detroit, if we win the series in Detroit, because think about it, we just beat Houston, we just beat Toronto. If we could beat Detroit, bro, I don't want nobody. I don't want to hear nothing from nobody. I don't want to hear not a single word from nobody. Don't tell me shit.
And it's like, for me, I feel good about Detroit because I don't think they've been trending in the right direction. I think their offense is weak. So, especially at home, I think we'll take care of business. For me, it's like I just want to see that 2 out of 3 at Boston. And it's going to be tough. I think we could do it, but that will be that's the ultimate test. Don't you agree? Because it's like we're 2-8 against them. So it's just like we have to win 2 out of 3.
I think, I think it is important that we go in there and win, but at the same time, let's also keep it a buck. We just went from 3 extremely high leverage, high stress, high moment series. If we win those 3 series and drop a series, but at least win a game in there, like I'm still not even upset.
We're still ahead of the game.
We drop the Boston series, but win a game. Like, we lose it 2-1. I'm not mad. If we get swept, I'm mad and worried. Yeah. But if we win 1 game in Boston and the other games are close, after winning the 3 series that we just won, I'm not gonna sit here and be over the top and be like, oh no, we still can't beat Boston. No, because now that's just moving the line. Right. What did we say in the beginning of this whole stretch? 25-5 or something like that. Like, bro, like we're damn close to that number, and we won 4 out of the 5 series that everybody said we couldn't win.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I still, even though it's going to be tough, I still think we can take 2 out of 3 from Boston.
I still think we can. Yeah. But I'm not going to be mad if we don't.
Exactly. But one thing I would like to do too, in addition to winning, would be to snap Aroldis Chapman's 50 inning scoreless streak. Or 50 batter. I don't. What is it? It's 50 batters in a row, right? Isn't that what it is?
Yeah, it's 50 batters in a row. No hits or something like that.
Yeah, no walks, nothing.
It's like he's supposed to have, like, if you think about it, it's 2 perfect games.
Yeah.
Or something of that nature.
It's at July 26th or something, since he's given up a hit. But I think we've talked about this before, but I forgot what you said. The last thing I just wanted to ask you is, what do you think's going on there? I mean, you think it's really just like a technical standpoint of his aim point? Like, how do you think he's been able to do this? Because he was really trending in the wrong direction the last couple of years.
I'm gonna actually take it. I've been mulling this over after I saw the conversation in the group chat. Because I do want to I do feel like when it comes to baseball takes and stuff like that, like, I hold myself to like a really high standard. So, like, not to just throw out some bullshit like, oh, he's taking juice and all this other shit. If you really think about it, Boston's pitching development or the coaches that they have that they take care of their pitching really has done an amazing job year in after year out. I mean, the talent that they have is different, but if you look at some of the players that they've gotten over the years and how they've taken steps in becoming better, it doesn't shock me seeing somebody like Aroldis, especially relief guys where you just need them for an inning or two, really kind of shape out and form out and get back to what they once were. I mean, Aroldis is a different animal. You have to think he's a tall, lanky lefty, damn near cuts half the distance of the mound when it's lined up, and he throws 105. So it's like science is science at the end of the day. If you can maintain that and just continue with your mechanics, I mean, you're going to be tough regardless. You know what I mean?
Right.
And maybe the staff in Boston has kind of revamped his career because, and it's like I said, they're just good with pitchers. You have to look around. Look at what they've done over the years. Look at what they've done with closers. Look at what they've done, who they've had. They've been pretty good. So it doesn't shock me. But at the same time, it's just you got to tip your hat off and say, amazing job. I wish he could have done that with us, but amazing job. Good is good. You gotta call good what it is.
Yeah. No, and I do love too though. He's been so lights out that maybe just like us timing with us playing well, maybe this is the eruption. Like I know he's worked on some things and improved, but where we could be hitting him at the right time where he's going to have one of those, like where he's walking everybody, giving up home runs. So hopefully that happens. But of course, I mean, listen, he's been great. There's no denying that. And he probably will win the reliever of the year. But we'll
you
see.
also have to think he's known to give up
big home runs,
a big hit, he's known to in bowling, we call it tapping. He's known to tap in big moments, especially when he looks like he's untouchable.
Right.
So it's like, it wouldn't shock me if he comes out in a close game, big hype, Boston, boom, 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 and faces somebody like Grisham, and Grisham takes him deep, or, Judge takes him deep, or Jazz takes him deep, and it's just like, gotcha, bitch.
Yeah, no, that'll be great. Hopefully that's what happens, but we'll see. But as always, Ernie, we appreciate it. Let's go Yankees, and hope you enjoy the day off.
You already know, brother. Let's go Yankees. Go Pack, fucking go. Pollock boy, how about them Lions? Also, Packers beat the Guardians on Thursday, 27-24.
All right. Let's see what happens.
All right, guys. Talk to you later.
All right. Have a good one.
Love you.
Love you too, dude.
Love you, Ernie.
The vanilla Dutch to my sticky icky. I had to get that. Talk to you later.
All right.
The great Erndini.
The great Erndini. And then a couple more to finish out. Bucket was routed for Ernie. Angelo says, hey, guys, I'm in school right now. It's lunch, LMAO. Bucket also saying, Kev Pooh, take notes. Barnside, you get in baseball. First sport, played it in kindergarten, preschool, whatever it is. And first sports memory, I was just talking about this with my dad at the Yankee game, 98 World Series. David Wells on the mound, wearing Babe Ruth's cap, sweeping the Padres. And then it was just on from there. But, yeah. So I can't believe how much this show is just flying by.
Yeah.
Always great recapping the weekend. And always great being back in the saddle with Michael.
All week, baby.
All week. Let's go. Appreciate everybody who tuned in today and continues to comment, like, and subscribe. All of the archives on the YouTube page, Tony, Michael, Renee, and Jane Costume, the merch at DowntimeTV.com. Want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games, and we will see you
mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.